Welcome back to Urban Bugs, the podcast that decodes the hidden patterns of city life. I'm your host, Zaya.
And I'm Avery. Today we are diving into a ritual that millions of us perform every single morning, often without a second thought.
That's right. We're talking about coffee, but not just the drink itself. Today's episode is titled How Coffee Rituals Shape Our Day and Brain.
Exactly. So we want to ask you and ourselves, is that morning cup just a caffeine delivery system, or is it something much, much more powerful?
I think we both know the answer to that, Avery. Let's start personal. Describe your morning coffee ritual for me.
Okay, so for me, it's a process. It starts the night before, making sure the machine is clean, the beans are in the grinder. When I wake up, the first thing I do is head to the kitchen.
Before anything else?
Before I even look at my phone, the first sound is the whir of the grinder. That specific sound, that's the real start to my day. Then the smell as the hot water hits the grounds, it's this multi-sensory alarm clock.
A multi-sensory alarm clock. I love that. It's so true. For me, it's the weight of my favorite ceramic mug in my hands. I have this one specific mug. It has to be that one.
Right. The specific mug is crucial.
It really is. And I take it to the same spot by the window, and for those first 5 minutes, I just watch the city wake up. It's my moment of quiet before the chaos. It's not just about drinking the coffee, it's about the space it creates.
The space it creates. That's the key, isn't it? It's a deliberate pause, a boundary between sleep and the demands of the day. You're not just consuming a beverage. You're performing an action that signals to your brain, okay, we are starting now. We are in control.
Exactly. It's an act of intention, and that's where the magic really lies, because this isn't just a feeling we have. There's actual science behind why the ritual itself is just as important, if not more so, than the caffeine.
Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. Hit me with the neuroscience.
All right, so think about your brain's reward system. It runs on a neurotransmitter called dopamine. We usually think of dopamine as the pleasure chemical, but it's more accurately the anticipation chemical.
So it's not the reward itself, but the excitement of knowing the reward is coming.
You got it. When you have a consistent ritual, the sound of the grinder, the smell, the warmth of the mug, your brain learns to associate all those cues with the impending reward of coffee. So your dopamine starts firing long before the caffeine even hits your system.
So that feeling of, I can finally start my day that I get when I hear the beans grinding, that's a literal dopamine hit.
That's your brain rewarding you for starting the ritual. It's a classic conditioned response, just like Pavlov's dogs. The bell for them is the grinder for you. The ritual primes your brain to feel more alert and focused, creating a powerful placebo effect that complements the chemical one.
Wow, a placebo effect. That makes so much sense. Because some days I feel more awake after just making the coffee, even before I've taken a sip.
And then when the caffeine does arrive, it has a job to do. Throughout the day, your brain produces a compound called adenosine, which makes you feel tired. It binds to special receptors, basically telling your brain to slow down.
Okay, so adenosine is the sleepiness molecule.
Right, and what caffeine does is pretty clever. It's structurally similar to adenosine, so it fits perfectly into those same receptors, but it doesn't activate them. It just blocks them. It's like putting a key in a lock that fits but doesn't turn. The adenosine can't get in, so you don't feel tired.
It's a neurological traffic cop, basically, holding back the sleepy signals. So you have the psychological boost from the ritual and the physiological block from the caffeine. It's a 1-2 punch for wakefulness.
It's an incredibly effective combination. The ritual tells your brain what's about to happen, and the caffeine delivers on that promise.
This is fascinating, and it also makes you realize this isn't just a modern phenomenon. This idea of a coffee ritual is deeply embedded in cultures all over the world.
And it's a promise that has shaped human history for centuries. It makes you wonder, where did this all begin? It feels like coffee has always been here, but it has a fascinating origin story that we are about to share with you. Oh, absolutely. And that's something we should definitely talk about. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a trip around the globe to explore some of the world's most iconic coffee rituals.
It really does. The story of coffee is a journey that spans continents and centuries. It all starts in the highlands of Ethiopia with a legend about a goat herder named Kaldi. Stay with us.
Kaldi and his dancing goats, I remember this story. He noticed his goats became incredibly energetic after eating the berries from a particular tree. And we are back on Urban Buzz, talking about the power of the coffee ritual. Before the break, Avery, you mentioned that this isn't just about our personal morning routines.
Right, it's a global phenomenon. Think about Italy, for example, the espresso bar. It's not about sitting down with a huge mug for half an hour. It's a quick stand-up affair. You order your espresso, you drink it in 2 or 3 sips while chatting with the barista, and you're out.
It's a ritual of efficiency and social connection, a quick, potent burst of energy and community before you go about your day. It's a punctuation mark in the daily routine.
Totally. Then you can swing to the complete opposite end of the spectrum with the Swedish concept of fika.
Ah, I love fika. It's not just a coffee break, it's a protected part of the day.
Exactly. It's the ritual of pausing. It's almost always accompanied by a pastry, and it's about making time for friends or colleagues. The coffee is central, but the true purpose is connection and relaxation. It's a statement that says we are more than just our work.
That's beautiful, and it's so different from the Italian model. One is about speed and efficiency, the other is about deliberately slowing down. And then you have places like Ethiopia, where coffee ceremonies are a cornerstone of hospitality and can last for hours.
Right, where the beans are roasted right in front of you. It's an incredibly sensory and communal experience. It's a sign of respect and friendship.
Or even Turkish coffee, which is prepared in a special pot called a cezve. The process is slow and methodical, creating a very strong, unfiltered brew. And the ritual doesn't even end when the coffee is gone. There's the tradition of reading fortunes in the coffee grounds left in the cup.
Reading fortunes in the grounds. Amazing. It just goes to show that across all these different cultures, coffee becomes a vehicle for something else, for community, for mindfulness, for tradition, for efficiency. The drink is just the medium for the ritual.
So true. It makes me think about our own rituals and how we can make them even more powerful. Which brings us to the big question, how can our listeners, and us for that matter, hack their coffee ritual for a better day?
Okay, actionable tips. I love it. My number one suggestion would be to create a no-phone zone around your coffee.
That's a big one.
It really is. If you're scrolling through emails or social media while you drink your first cup, you're robbing yourself of that mindful pause we talked about. You're letting the world rush in before you've even had a chance to set your own intentions. So for those 10 or 15 minutes, the phone stays away.
I completely agree. And you can use that phone-free time for something else. Pair the ritual with another positive habit. For example, while you sip your coffee, you could do some light journaling or simply write down the 3 most important things you want to accomplish that day.
That's a great idea. It's called habit stacking. You're linking the established ritual of coffee with a new habit you want to build, making it much more likely to stick. You're using the dopamine from the coffee ritual to fuel another productive behavior.
Okay, what about the timing? I've heard some neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman talk about delaying your morning coffee for about 90 minutes after you wake up.
Yes, this is a fascinating one. So when you wake up, your body's cortisol levels are naturally at their peak. Cortisol is the alertness hormone. If you drink caffeine while your cortisol is already high, you're kind of getting less bang for your buck, and it can interfere with your body's natural rhythm.
So, by waiting until that natural cortisol peak starts to dip, the caffeine has a much more noticeable and effective impact.
Exactly. You avoid the dreaded afternoon crash because you haven't burned through all your adenosine at once. It might be tough for some people to change that immediate habit, but it's a powerful biohack to try.
I think the main takeaway here is intentionality. Whatever your ritual is, do it with purpose. Pay attention to the sensory details, the smell, the taste, the temperature, the weight of the mug. Turn it from a mindless habit into a mindful practice.
Absolutely. That simple shift in mindset can change the entire trajectory of your day. It transforms your coffee from just a tool to wake up into a tool to shape your day with intention.
Well, I am definitely going to be thinking about my favorite mug a little differently tomorrow morning.
Me too. So to sum it all up, your morning coffee is more than just a drink. The ritual itself preps your brain for focus, releasing dopamine through anticipation. It's a practice steeped in cultural history, and by making it more mindful, putting the phone away, stacking habits, and maybe even tweaking the timing, you can turn it into one of the most powerful tools for designing a better day.
We would love to hear about your coffee rituals. What makes them special to you? Find us on social media at Urban Buzz Pod and share a picture or a story. We'll feature our favorites next week.
That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time on Urban Buzz, where we'll be exploring the secret acoustics of the city and how sound shapes our urban experience.
Until then, stay curious. I'm Zia.
And I'm Avery. Thanks for listening.